is real. And it starts with the sound of a jet taking off.
Yeah.
And it's about a guy who wants to go home.
So I touched down in California, and pretty much right away the puerile adolescent jokes started happening between me and my brother.
You better make Robin Thicke look like a piece of shit.
You better be Alan Thicke's son.
You better be Alan Thicke.
You better be Alan Thicke.
You better be Alan Long and Thicke. Want to ride this?
I feel that way about all of them.
Some of them are awesome, like the ones with the hills and shit. It's like you go down a hill that's 300 feet. It's like fucking sweet. It's like going down the ultimate hill on your skateboard or something.
Yeah.
You know, times 100.
Yeah, I almost blacked out on the Raptor.
The ones that do the loops, man, I don't like that shit. You know, I don't get why. That's like all rides now. Like at Six Flags, it's like almost all the rides
They do
are
some kind
like
of
those
corkscrew.
fucking ones that just like spin you around in every goddamn direction. You know, they have this fucking Green Lantern ride, and it's like it's a roller coaster, and the cars on it are like those cars that they put on like. You know those rides that they have at the fair where it's like it's on a like pivot and it can just swing whatever direction, you know? So this thing is doing loops and shit on top of the fucking loops. I was just looking at it and I was like, there's no way I would ride that. I would definitely throw up everywhere. I would throw up into my own mouth because I'd be upside down or something and I'd choke.
Lemonade.
And Willie had just put out a new album called Funk and Blues, but Truman would he would come out and he would introduce Willie, but he kind of like he wasn't like very good at pronouncing stuff. Like he would always call Rick Balua or something like that.
Rick Beluga.
Beluga, even though Rick's last name is Kalura. Like so, there was this time there were like all these people out there, and they were all white people. Yeah, there were like people with their kids and stuff. And Truman comes out and he's like, "Mr. Willie Pooch is about to come out on the stage. He's got a new album out, the fucking blues." And it sounded like he was just saying,
looked at us like, what did he say?
Yeah, and everyone had
Oh my god.
and
He's just screaming it through his big PA.
The fucking blues.
fucking blues.
Oh my god. 57?
Yeah.
1940 something. Can you see what that date is?
1948.
Peter Lawford and Esther Williams. Dude, come on. I can't. Usually you only get trapped on the right side or in corn pone.
Diarrhea. When it's sliding, it's the first
The pain! Show your brother. More diarrhea lyrics.
More diarrhea lyrics, please. Surrey, more diarrhea lyrics.
The official diarrhea
Do
song.
you know the diarrhea song?
Diarrhea.
It's diarrheic.
When you're climbing up a
She's
tree
still
and it
listening to
trickles
us,
down your
right?
knee.
Down your knee? Who's ever got diarrhea on their knee?
When you're sitting in the gutter and you're eating bread and butter. Well, that doesn't fucking make sense.
When you eat a spicy pickle and your butt begins to tickle.
Trickle.
Spicy
I think
pickle.
trickle would be better.
Trickle would
When
be
you're
better.
driving in your Chevy and you're feeling something heavy.
When it runs between your toes like slimy, sloppy joes.
When your stomach's feeling wavy and you're making anal gravy. When you're walking down the hall and it splatters on the wall.
It's a very relatable song.
When you're brushing out your hair and your butt begins to flare.
I don't think they're canon. These are like fan fiction diarrhea
Yeah, these
lyrics.
are.
When you think your friends are joking but your pants are brown and soaking. And you're on the seat for hours and it doesn't smell like flour. When the feeling's not that nice and you have to flush twice.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea. Now, what you'll notice here is that my dad refers to a Trader Joe's bag full of clothes as his luggage. He took this on the plane. He took a Trader Joe's brown paper bag on the plane as like his carry-on luggage, which is just, there you go. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Is that your stuff?
Yeah, I got all my stuff.
You get that shit?
No, I didn't do it again. Whoa! Yeah, do one then the other.
I can't do both.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever. He kicks his wife in the face.
Alright, now I'm really busy.
Later that evening, our dad sort of regaled us with these tales he had of all of his brushes with the law, which were unbelievably hilarious.
Free drinks to the band. Glasses of whiskey. This,
What?
Me and JJ both would
Really
bring
works better if
one of
you
those
don't
little
eat
bottles
first.
of Jim Beam. You know, the little flask-sized bottles, because it was too hard to fight your way through the crowd to get a drink from the bar. So we had our own bottle and the bar. People would come up to me and say, "Man, I saw how much you drank, and I cannot believe you could play the bass. Fucked up as you have to be. You must be." You know? And they were right, man. I would be puking the next day.
It's
You
like
know,
no matter
this
how
yellow
drunk I am, I
shit.
never.
That one particular night, I was going to Dick's Den after the gig to meet everybody at Dick's Den and drink some more, you know? And I saw that there was a parking place on the other side of the street, and I did a U-turn.
It's on High Street.
Oh, great.
I did.
Oh my
and there
God,
were
yeah.
cops sitting right there watching, seeing me do it. So I whipped into this parking place right in front of that big window, you know? And the police pulled right up
Neon,
beside me and just
literally.
blocked me in and turned their lights on. And so the lights are flashing inside Dick's. So everybody is looking out the window. And I'm doing the... you know? But it was campus. It was Ohio State cops. I didn't even know it. I was so fucked up, I just knew they were cops. I didn't realize they were Ohio State cops.
What's
Right?
the difference? Yeah.
They took me to the Ohio State police station, and this guy was such a
They're there to
doofus,
keep it
he didn't
down.
even know how to administrate the breathalyzer test.
What, they
And I
put
sat there
it
for
in
like an hour and a half waiting, and finally they gave me the test, and I blew clean.
Yeah, you-
And Jim Casto, I was going to meet him, and I had 2 ounces of pot in my glove bag
Oh,
at the time.
Wow.
Oh God.
And he was waiting for me in Dixon, seeing all this shit happen.
oh no.
And then, but he came over to the police station, and they said they'd just let me go. And he drove me back to my car, and I drove fucking home.
I gave.
That was a close one. I got another one that's just as bad. When we lived in German Village on Front Street. You guys were like this
Yeah,
big.
I remember that.
And I was driving home from Bernie's. It was Tuesday night. It was raining, and I was coming down High Street. And you know, it's a real high crown when you get downtown.
Yeah.
It's
There's a
rain.
real high crown in the street.
Right.
I was driving that Hornet that I got from your mother's sister. And the front
Like my
right,
Nationwide.
I was coming along pretty good, coming to Gay Street. Police station's right down Gay,
Yeah,
down
right.
the hill. And it's raining, and the light's yellow, and I thought, I can make it. And then I thought, no, I better not. And I put on the brakes, and my left front brakes locked up.
Oh
And,
shit.
Oh,
and I
shit.
slid around
Hydroplane.
right into the
Yeah.
intersection, and I'm backwards now.
Oh my
I'm
God.
facing the wrong way. I'm blocking traffic, you know, and all the headlights are right on me.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm all fucked up, and I got dope in my ashtray.
Again.
You know, from just people smoking and putting it in there. And I look up, and there's a cop right there, you know, waiting for me to get out of the way. He
man.
can't even
Oh,
move
my
because I'm
God.
blocking the
Oh
street.
fuck.
Oh my
Right?
God.
And so, yeah, this was a big my God moment.
Oh.
I backed the car around, and I kind of sheepishly tried to drive
You
off.
might be fucking up.
Now I'm right in front of the State House, 1 block further south, right,
Yeah.
on High Street.
Yeah.
And the guy pulls me over.
Jeez.
And it's a captain of the police
Oh
force.
my.
And he's on his way to work. And I blocked his ass in, and he comes up and he goes, holy fuck, this guy's obviously drunk. You know, he can smell me from outside the car. And there's a paddy wagon coming down the street, right? One of those vans with 2 rookies in it. Rookie cops, you can tell they're like almost teenagers. They just got out of the army or something. And so this guy says, this fucker's obviously drunk. Put him in the wagon, take him to jail, and then he goes on to work. And so the rookies go, okay. And they took me and they put me in the drunk tank. They go in the big garage door, you know, and they patch it down. And you go inside this place where they put all the hopeless cases. And I sat there all night, and eventually some people realized I wasn't around, and so they put it together where I was somehow, and they bailed me out. It cost like $110. But the rookies thought that the captain was going to write the report, and the captain figured the rookies would do it. So there was no record of anything. So when I left, they just never bothered. They had no reason.
Right.
Yeah, they fucked up so bad that they never really charged me with anything.
Right.
You know, I never had a breathalyzer test or anything. And so after I left, that was it. They towed my car, and when I went down there to get my car.
And
The dope was still in the ashtray. I smoked a joint on the way home.
Are you kidding?
In the car, driving. And I got a call from Rick Richardson again. And apparently John Bishop, his friend, the coke dealer, had gotten busted and sent to prison. And so Rick was hanging out with his wife. And they spent all the money in that bank account that they had. It was like hundreds of thousands of dollars, just going crazy. And they came out to California. He calls me up and he says, "Hey man, you want to go see Weather Report?" I said, "Who?" I never even really was familiar with them. They're playing at the Roxy and I've got tickets. So we went to see Weather Report at the Roxy just when they released Heavy Weather.
Yeah.
You know? And it blew my mind, really, more than any other band I ever saw.
Yeah.
Because of the bass, you know.
Yeah.
He had a room in the penthouse at the Sunset Hilton. It's just down the street from where the Roxy is.
Yeah.
And they were just spending this money like drunken sailors.
Yeah.
And he was with his friend's wife, you know. If he ever gets out of prison, Rick is not going to be smiled upon.
Yeah.
He's going to be killed.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since then either.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, he might have died. I don't know.
Or he might still live here.
Yeah, he might have made it big. I heard that he had a band called Pacific Coast Highway, but they never really busted out. He was a real interesting guy, though. He kind of reminded me of Todd Rundgren. And he wrote music. He had a lot of really crazy jazz rock music that he had written that we were trying to learn how to play.
Yeah.
That's what we were into, man. Back then, we wanted to play jazz rock. You know, fusion, push back the boundaries, lead bass. But after I heard Pastorius play, and I thought, well, maybe lead bass ain't the way to go. I'm obviously not. I thought I was the best, you know.
Yeah.
You go when you're a child or a teenager or some deluded person like me. I thought, well, I'm pretty fucking hot. I had a Rickenbacker bass.
Man, can we get a Starbucks? I would love to have a
you know, and I was playing
Right
with a
back there,
pick,
cheap.
playing through 2 Ampeg SVTs, stereo with effects. You know, I was like, it was like a one-man band, just the bass.
Yeah.
Do I have to circle the block? Well, hell.
We have
Give me
coffee
a
at the
break,
house. I can make you
man.
some
Come
coffee.
on, this driving is no fun. Oh God, then we'll be back there somewhere. You know, I've always thought that I might be what they call agoraphobic, and
You are afraid of people?
It comes out more when I come places like this, you know. So I get a little bit weird. But it's the thing where you're trying to deal with it rather than submit. It should be harmonized. Maybe you could do that.
So how does that work?